everyone, today I'll be doing a solo Grandmaster run. Oh no. Is it Battlegrounds? You guys know I don't like Battlegrounds. I'm out of here, I can't do it. You have to do it, Blitz! I just can't do it. I can't do it, I don't like Battlegrounds, especially on Void Hunter. It's like the worst. With Wish Ender? No way. You gotta do it, Blitz! Darn it, why? Why am I doing this? So for my subclass, I'll be using Nightstalker with Tether. Here are the mods and fragments I'll be using in this video. For the exotic, surprise, surprise, the famous Wish Ender. Next I'll be using a glaive. And for my heavy, Stormchaser, arc linear fusion rifle. This week, we're gonna go for the Void Hunter. And this is the Battlegrounds. The moon version. Woo! And it was really fun for you guys, but not for me. So basically, I decided to just try out Wish Ender because, well, let's be honest, no one's really using Wish Ender. So I might as well try it out for this run. And I'm going to be using the glaive. And we're just gonna take down the ads and pray for RNG of not getting one shot when popping the glaive bubble. Yes, I had times where, especially the stairs, where I get one shot from the enemies, and like this for example. So let's just pray for RNG that it works out so I could take down the barrier champions. Now there is a cheese where you can skip the Lucent Hive, but because I'm not in a ability spam build and I'm not on Titan and I'm not on Warlock and I can't really do DPS ability spam from far distance so much, looks like I have to deal with the Lucent Hive. And I do recommend using a arc linear fusion rifle. I did try out using a Void, it just wasn't working. The Arcanite shield is just way too much. It's a lot of work and you waste a lot of ammo. It's not worth it. So use a arc linear fusion rifle. Highly recommend. I mean, you can use a strong heavy, a Void heavy. Yes, you can, but let's just say for this certain build, we highly recommend arc linear fusion rifle. When staggering the Unstoppable Champions, I am using Flash over no cal artifact mod, and the reason why is the artifact mod makes the bolt charge more stronger, and I kind of need that for this Void subclass and for using the Wish Ender to make it work. That's why I'm not using the no cal bell to do more melee damage towards the enemies, but I'm not going for that method. I just want to get really good arc charge or bolt charge to deal with Unstoppable Champions. And yeah, it's a pain. Now, because I really don't feel like pushing yet, I want to take down this Unstoppable Champion first. Then I'm gonna go take down the Lucent Hive and then just go psychopathic. Yes, that's right. I'm gonna go Hunter psychopathic. I just can't take it anymore. I want to be a Titan the Warlock. Why can't I just be one? Alright, okay, yes, I could go on Prismatic. Yes, I understand that. Yes, I understand. But I just want to spam abilities. Like, can I just do that on a Void Hunter? They need to buff the Void Hunter. It's just ridiculous. That's why I haven't really touched it because, well, it's okay. And there is other builds. Like, look here, I almost fell down. See, if I didn't have the double jump, it would have been back to orbit. But I'm just trying to do DPS at the Lucent Hive, and I'm spamming finisher so I can push the enemies and just let everyone know you can actually push the Lucent Hive. And maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have just pushed the Lucent Hive to the edge. Don't know why I didn't do that, but you know, there were times where I pushed off and I still completed this objective. I'm gonna take down the Unstoppable Champion. Please, bolt charge. Just take down or do DPS at the enemies. And yes, I am using the glaive with disabling rounds. It's really good. Highly recommend to try out. I mean, I would use the sidearm, but maybe next time. But I don't think I would do it for this Battlegrounds because I don't like Battlegrounds. No one likes Battlegrounds. It's just a nuisance GM, and I don't really have patience, especially going for this certain build. It just requires a lot of patience. And I backed away because, well, the fire is going to hurt me, and we got all these thralls. And did I mention auto aim assist in this GM? Yeah, be aware of that when going for precision shots with linear fusion and bow. Also, another reason why I want to use the bow is I can one shield break the bigger champions. I was trying it out with the sidearm, with the exotic sidearm, and I gotta be honest, I was really disappointed. I was so disappointed that I couldn't believe it didn't one-shot the barrier champion, the shield. It was just so horrible. I was so embarrassed. I said, I can't believe Wish Ender is better than the exotic sidearm for barrier for this season. I mean, it's just so sad. I was so disappointed. So then I went back to Wish Ender and said, yeah, I'll just go with Wish Ender. I mean, it's not the best DPS ever. I mean, yes, I could have used La Monarch, but I was trying to use different exotic to try out for this GM. And yeah, I could have done better. I was trying to use the Growl Falcon for this GM. It was worky, it was fun, it was good, but the boss fight was the problem. For some reason, I was just getting annihilated from the Sapathon Ghost. The Arc Blast was bunging me so bad on every attempt to the point where I just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for Invis. But I didn't have too much patience for that. It was just not working. But you can see all this splash damage. I had to back away, but do you see what I mean of how risky and how annoying it could be of trying to push and to deal with the champions and the barrier, and then with the aim assist. By the way, sometimes my glaive moves by itself. Did I mention that sometimes the glaive moves by itself when you're trying to shoot something, but it's not shooting at that specific boss or major boss? I bet you didn't even know about that. But yeah, there are times where I'm using the glaive and it just moves to a different direction. Like, how the bunch am I supposed to get my precision shots or shoot enemies with a glaive if it keeps auto aiming to the other side or something else? And it's just really frustrating for me. And it's really something that I just don't understand. It's just something I really don't understand. I mean, look at this. Look at this flinch. It's just ridiculous. It's really frustrating. I mean, I'm trying so hard to be positive, but this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to bother myself going on Void Hunter for this season. I was trying so hard to ignore it, and I want to go for Prismatic. Let's just be honest. Prismatic Hunter is really good. I mean, definitely try it out with the Emos Light, with the Cryo build. But for Void Hunter for Battlegrounds, it just requires a build where you have to spam abilities. And the only way for the Void Hunter is spam invisibility with the volatile rounds. That's the only way to make it work. But like I said, I was using Growl Falcon. It was good. But the boss fight was the problem. The Sapathon Ghost kept shooting me, the arc blasts. I was just too slow. So slow, and it was just ridiculous. Also, another reason I want to use Flash Over is because I can get Amplify. I mean, gosh, it just feels nice to have Amplify on Hunter. You guys have no idea. It's such a nice feeling. Especially if you go on Titan or Warlock, if you're using the Arc Soul build, you get Amplify all the time. It just feels great to have it. And of course, yes, Arc Hunter. I was debating to go on Arc Hunter. I was this close, but then I changed my mind. I think maybe they should have also had a Arc New Fragment for the Hunter. Yes, they do have a unique one for the Void, And I will use it on my next video. I didn't use it for this one because I don't really like Battlegrounds. That's one reason. Alright, so everyone pretty much knows how this works, but you need to collect the motes. We got Hypernova, our worst enemy. We're gonna dunk the orb and then pull back because we need to deal with champions. Now I'm trying to remember what was going on in this footage. I did later on went back to get some ammo. I didn't in this footage so much, but I will. So this is gonna be pretty boring, but I'm just gonna wait for an unstoppable champion, barrier champion, just to walk towards me. I cannot bother myself up pushing because one, fire throws at me, fireballs throw at my poor hunter, and sometimes I get one shot, which is really annoying because I never had those issues on my warlock or titan. Two, well, the wizards can sometimes sneak up on you, and sometimes you can get a drainer. So I just decided just to hang around here, just wait for the unstoppable champion to walk and walk. Hopefully he'll cooperate. I mean, he may take a while. I mean, he does want to be a gentleman. I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, this battleground's already corrupted, but I'm sure he understands how I feel. And excuse me, I did miss my shot there. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to miss my shot, so that was my fault there. That was my fault of missing my shot. Now let's see if I can get my shots right. Okay, there we go. And I'm out of ammo. So we're gonna go back and get some ammo. And we're gonna use our finisher. Now I was trying to use a rocket. A non-exotic rocket. Yeah, about that. It didn't work out. I was spending hours on it. It was a big no-no for the hunter. You know, but you might as well just use a exotic sword over a rocket for the hunter. Alright, it's just not looking good. I was trying my best to see something works. Maybe it'll work for a different GM, but not for this one. So I'm collecting 3 motes, and I'm going to dunk 3 of them from the right side. When we do dunk the 3 motes, we'll have 4 out of 12 where we have to deal with a Shrieker. And 2 Hunter Lucent Hives. Yeah, those guys. So you know me, I always make fun of the Titan. Wannabe Titan, but the Lucent Hunter, they're no joke. I mean, I'm a little jealous. I mean, why can't I have that power for this GM? I mean, imagine if we had that ability for Solar Hunter. I mean, it would be so OP of doing DPS at the boss. Pretty much everything. So I'm a little jealous with the Lucent Hunter because their super is more powerful and it looks powerful than the blades. Looks way more powerful than these solar blades for the hunter for some reason. So we're gonna do some DPS at the Lucent Hive hunter, and yes, he likes to shoot the knives, and they shoot really far distance. I mean, why can't I do that on my solar hunter? But for some reason, the solar knife attack, it is pretty OP, and it can one-shot you when all knives hit you, but you can block it with the glaive, which is really good because before the other version, I swear to the Bungie, I don't think you were able to block it, but now you can. So that's good news for the glaive lovers. So it looks like the boss is not going to cooperate, so I'm going to time skip myself and then just go ahead and deal with the Lucent Hunter from the left side. Okay, so the Lucent Hunter wasn't cooperating with me. It doesn't like me, alright? I confess, I kind of told the Lucent Hunter that I was a little jealous of the super, and it just didn't like that, so it decided to hide. So we're gonna deal with the other Lucent Hunter, the left side. We're gonna be using our super, hopefully. So I highly recommend to use your super and use your linear fusion rifle if you can. Let's pray for auto aim to not mess me up. Alright, so far so good. I'm not getting any flinches. Today is a lucky day for the hunter. Okay, so crush the ghost. Now we're gonna go and deal with the next Lucent Hunter. Now I could take down the wizard, but the problem is that I really need to take down the next hunter, Lucent Hunter, because sometimes they can push towards the opposite direction or they can surprise attack you, so I don't want to deal with that. No way. But you can see that the solar knives can hurt you. Now before the old version or the last season version, the knives used to follow you even when you were invisible. Yeah, I know. Scary, right? Not anymore. So I don't think they can do that. Or maybe they could if you're using the smoke invis. I'm not 100% sure. Because I'm using the dodge invis. The dodge invis and the smoke invis, it's a little different. So I'm not sure if the knives track you on the smoke invis. I have not tested out this season. But I can guarantee the dodge invis, the boss doesn't see you. And the knives can't see you. So we're going to be collecting 2 more of the Taken Essence. I'm going to pull back to take a break. You know, I gotta see what's going on. Gotta make sure we don't have a Drain Bane. I will say Drain Wizard. Another new thing about this GM-ish is now we're introduced with Banes and their RNG. Kind of ruined the GMs, to be honest. And the reason why is because they're not fixed. They're RNG. I don't know. Everyone's run's gonna be different. And that's the problem for this run. And I highly recommend just try your best to throw a blinding grenade or a smoke grenade to deal with the wizards. Okay, so now we are 6 out of 12. And we should be able to deal with more of the enemies. I'm going to pull back. I'm trying to remember if I was supposed to take down the Shrieker. Alright, so 7 out of 12, I need to collect more of the essence. So now I'm going to use my super because, well, I need to take them down. You can blind the enemies, that's why I use Tether. I did want to use Spectral Blades, but it wasn't really working for me because the wizards were floating. And I had to use my charge attack, and it was good. It was good, but the problem was that you need a certain exotic to make the Spectral Blades more better. And I just couldn't really use that certain exotic, unfortunately. So now we're gonna go for the next moat. Now we have 3, so I'm gonna go to the other side and then just dunk the 3 moats. Then we'll have to deal with 2 more moats. And this is where we're gonna deal with 2 more champions. Yes, 2 more champions. It just gets better and better. From what I remember is there's going to be a Shrieker. And there's going to be Unstoppable and Barrier Champion up ahead. We're going to wait for the Unstoppable Champion to push and the Barrier. They should appear very soon. I was just trying to break the shield of wizards, but yeah, it wasn't working. It wasn't really... The wizards like to float around and hide when you're trying to break the shield, and then worse, when you break the shield then they really hide. It's just really awkward. But yeah, welcome to the Moon Battlegrounds. Isn't this fun? Having the best day ever. If only I was on a Titan, I could just go and take them down quickly. Darn it. Alright, we're gonna take down the Unstoppable Champion. Now the Unstoppable Champion is going to push. So just make sure you do DPS. Hopefully he can cooperate and get my precision shots. Perfect. What else can go wrong for this GM? So that's the only good thing about Wish Ender. At least Wish Ender, you can break the shields with just one bow. I mean, that's the good thing. I mean, remember Oscillation mod? Remember it took 2 shots to take down, well, to break the barrier shield? Remember that Pacific mod? Oscillation and Liminality, Oscillation and Arms Dealer. Yeah, remember those mods? Now, funny story. This season, all has been chaff, and all those extra mods that we had before is gone. I'm not sure if they're gonna bring it back. That I have no idea. But it is interesting that Wish Ender can still break the Barrier Champion shield in one bow. I would say that's the only good thing about using Wish Ender for this GM. I think Wish Ender is really good dealing with taken enemies. Because for some reason, I haven't tested, but for some reason, I could be wrong, but I think Wish Ender does a little bit more damage on taken enemies. I'm not sure why. I think there is a mod for it, but I could be wrong. But it's just really weird. It does more damage. Very bizarre, but that's the only thing I would say about Wish Ender. It's really good for taking enemies, but not so much for the other enemies. So we're gonna take down the wizards. So you have to be very careful with the fire. So the reason why I was on low health was because the fire was shooting at me, the splash damage. I wanted to put Concussive Dampener, but I didn't have enough space to use Concussive Dampener. Okay, so once we dunk the last ore, we're gonna go to the next area. Now the next area is really weird. Now, not on this footage, but when I was doing DPS at the boss, the Shrieker from behind actually opened and was trying to shoot my Guardian. It was just so awkward. It didn't happen on this footage, but it did happen on my last attempt. I would say yesterday, where I was doing DPS and all of a sudden the Shrieker opened. It was shooting at my Guardian. I was on red health. I had to dodge, turn invisible. And yeah, there is a sneaky Shrieker from the backside. I'm trying to see if we can find him so you can pause. Or I'm pretty sure it appears later when we take down the Unstoppable Champion. So usually around this area, the Shrieker appears, but it looks like it's not there until we push towards the boss pre-fight. But yeah, the Unstoppable Champions, they did behave very awkward here. I was trying to use my linear fusion rifle, but my goodness, I was just having a lot of bad luck here. I mean, you can see I'm doing my precision shots. I'm trying my best. Unstoppable Champion's being weird. I'm gonna pull back. But yeah, I was just having weird moments with the Unstoppable Champion. I mean, look at him. He's already aggressive, and I gotta make sure I take down this Unstoppable Champion. Jesus. My bungee. So we're gonna take down the next Unstoppable Champion. And then once we do that, we're gonna DPS at the boss. But there is a shrieker around this spot where I'm standing. And for some reason, it's not appearing until the boss spawns. Yeah, it's really weird. I was just double checking of where the shrieker is. I didn't see him. But just be aware that there is a shrieker from far distance from the back side. So usually during this section, you use your tether to take down the wizards. I didn't have it, but it was already late. And another thing is you have to do DPS at the wizard, but his health is pretty tanky. But the good news is I get to do the power of time skip, so I don't have to waste anyone's time for this. And it's good for me because I can make my editing life easier as well. So this is a win-win for you and for me. So we're gonna do some DPS at the boss. I'm gonna do a time skip. The power of time skip. And the boss is cooperating. Now we get to get to the boss fight. So another thing to remind everyone is you get your super back when you're starting the boss fight. And you get ammo back as well, which I forgot. So make sure you use all your heavy doing DPS at the boss. I still think it's ridiculous that the boss's health goes back to 100%. I wish the damage could have been still, you know, during the boss fight. I just think it's a bit too much, a bit ridiculous. So that's one thing maybe they could change for this Battlegrounds, or for me, in my personal opinion, I honestly think they should get rid of all the Battlegrounds because I really don't think they're designed for Grandmasters at all. And that's my personal opinion. I know people will disagree and dislike it, but it's just a lot of work. I mean, look at this. 28 minutes. It's alright. With a non-meta. By the way, with a non-meta build. Okay, I'm not using the meta build. And it's already a lot of work. So the wizard's gonna hide. I'm just trying to see if I can do some DPS. So usually the best method, but let me warn you before going to that method, is you can do DPS from the left side. But the boss likes to throw grenades. And because we're not using La Monarch, we're not really staggering or doing volatile rounds at the boss. So because if we were on a different exotic, the boss is not going to be too much of a threat, and it's not going to really spam arc grenades at you. But because we're using Wish Ender, this boss likes to throw arc grenades at you, and it's really random. So when doing DPS at the boss, you have to really look at his animation. Like right there, I thought he was going to throw his grenade, but the boss was just popping a healing rift. But there are times where he'll just throw a grenade, and I swear to the punchy, I'm not over exaggerating. Anyway, I'm gonna do a mini time skip here. This is my favorite part of the GM, because now we get to deal with Sapphithongos. I mean, it's just so fun. We get to do DPS at the champions, and we got the Sapphithongos that one-shots you and does this lightning strike that one-shots you. By the way, I was doing some testing, but I haven't done enough. But the lightning strike, you can use the glade bubble and not get one-shot from it. I don't know why, but you can't jump. That's the problem of doing that method. So the barrier champion was acting so awkward. I mean, it was dodging. I was trying to do DPS. Then later on, I was gonna get the flinch. So I was trying to do DPS. I was looking at the stairs because, well, I was worried that an acolyte could appear out of nowhere. But you can see, like right now, for example, red health. All because I was focusing on DPSing the champion. Now there should be unstoppable up ahead, right there. And we should be able to take down the unstoppable champion. And Acolyte. I had to take down the Acolyte because my glaive was going on the Acolyte direction. And there was just no choice. I mean, the aim assist says you need to take down the Acolyte first and then the champion. And I had to listen to it. Okay, joke aside, but seriously, that's basically what happened. We're gonna pick up the Arc Staff and I'm gonna turn invisible. So it's gonna make life easier for me. Now, when using the Arc Staff, try your best to run and hold the jump button or the X button or the A button so you can get momentum to get a high jump and then use your double jump. For some reason, I don't know why. Okay, this is the one thing that really annoys me on Hunter. I can get a really nice momentum jump on my Hunter on my first jump, but then on my second jump, I don't get anything. And when doing this method on Titan and Warlock, you get so much momentum and so much high jump. So why is the Hunter a bit awkward compared to the Warlock and Titan? Because I was testing this on my Titan and I was testing this on my Warlock and it was just so bizarre. I mean, the Titan, you can literally go all the way high up and you can easily dodge the Archive Blasts. Same for the Warlock. Same for the Warlock. The Warlock takes time to control, but honestly, the Hunter jump with the staff was just so awkward. But anyway, we're gonna grab the Arc Staff. And this may take a while, so I am gonna fast forward it. So overall, you just have to turn invisible. You're gonna just wait for the lightning strike to appear. It usually appears every 10 seconds. And if it doesn't, that means the boss is moving. Or it's going to do a teleportation bug where it teleports, it disappears, and then it appears. It's really awkward and weird. So I'm gonna do a mini time skip right now. After spending 4 minutes of my life, we're gonna pick up the Arc Staff and hit the, or shoot the Sapphire Ghost. It's called the Aspect of Sapphire, but we're gonna call it the Ghost because it looks like a ghost. So I'm gonna turn invisible and then just go all the way up here. It's really awkward. Alright, perfect. Now, usually for this, I would recommend just quickly go to the right side. I was just debating. I was just curious of how the boss was going to behave. And it looked like there was no point of me standing there during the second phase. So I just decided to just go to the right side and do DPS. Now, highly recommend to use your super, but I didn't really use my super at the right spot. I was taking down the Acolytes because I was worried that they might throw fire at me, and that's basically the weakness for the Hunter. Well, for the Void Hunter. I wouldn't say Prismatic so much, but just had to be very careful when dealing with them. I was just jumping because I couldn't see. I was like, okay, where is the Acolyte? Gotta make sure I take them down. Alright, so once we clear down the ads, I'm gonna be using my super, and I used my super the wrong one. I was supposed to use my super at this spot where I'm shooting. And another thing I should have done is just go on top of the grass to do DPS at the wizard. I forgot that method for Hunter. You know, it's very different method compared to the Warlock and Titan. Because I just realized that I don't have any ability to heal myself to do DPS at this spot. And the best way for the hunter, especially using Wish Ender, is you gotta go on top of the grass and touch grass. I'm not even joking over exaggerating. We're actually going to touch grass. But we are going to do DPS with the boss, and usually the boss cooperates when doing the DPS method on this spot. The only bad thing is that sometimes the acolytes like to throw fire at you. But other than that, this method is pretty good. So I'm gonna stand here, and I also like to crouch down so I don't have acolytes trying to shoot fire at me. And also the Arknights and acolytes as well. Alright, time to do another time skip because the boss is tanky and the Wish Ender is only doing 7,455 precision shot damage. I feel like they nerfed the Wish Ender because I swear to the Bungie, it did way more damage before. So after spending 4 minutes of my life, and I counted this time, we're gonna deal with 2 Sapathongos. I'm the happiest guardian ever. But seriously, 2 Sapathongos from the left and the right side. Now everyone has their own method, and I forgot to mention there's an ogre, but not a champion. So make sure you take down the ogre, because it's gonna mess up your jumps when picking up the arc staff. But yeah, look at that damage on Stormchaser. You know, I'm so glad I farmed this weapon from the old season. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to clear all these ads because, well, I just don't want them in the way. So you could take your time. And then after that, we're going to be picking up the arc staff. So I'm going to do a mini time skip here. Once you clear as much ads as you can and the boss is cooperating from the right side, usually you want the Sapathongos to be all the way from the back. Turn invisible, and then you just pick up the arc staff, and then you just teleport. It just makes life easier. Remember, the first jump has the momentum, not the second one, which is really ridiculous. Like, why can't the hunter have 2 momentum jumps when picking up the arc staff? Like, that's just something I don't understand, but yet the hunter, well, the titan can jump really high and dodge the arc staff, and the warlock, let's not forget about the warlock, same thing. But the hunter is having trouble picking up the arc staff. By the way, I got stuck, so it made me nervous, and I actually had to jump from a different method. But seriously, I mean, look at this. 1 jump, momentum, 2nd jump. Like, look at this. High jump, and then double jump is, yikes. So unfair. Really irritates me. You know, I'm not a hunter main, but let's just say if I was, that would drive me crazy. That would frustrate me. I mean, imagine if I didn't play on Warlock and Titan, and I was on Hunter all the time, and I'm dealing with the issue where the arc staff, the momentum jump, doesn't work on the 2nd jump for the hunter. I mean, that's ridiculous. And yes, I am going to complain about that because it's not fair. I think the hunter should have both when picking up the arc staff, because it's already bad enough of trying to dodge the arc Kai blast from the Sapathongos when doing this method, in my personal opinion. So we're going to go from the other side. And yes, I'm going to do a mini time skip very soon. So this could be the last staff. And then I'm going to do a time skip. But yeah, look at this. High momentum jump. Double jump. Yikes. Ridiculous. Alright, I'm going to do a mini time skip here. Alright, I've been suffering enough. You know, I always suffer when going Void Hunter. And now we get to deal with the Sapathongos from the right side. So once you take down the Sapathongos from the left side, congratulations! You got your solo flawless done. But seriously, after that, everything's a-okay. Everything is good to go. Now the only thing I'd be worried about is the surprise attacks from the acolytes. Now be very, very, very careful when throwing spear and having acolytes surprise attack you. Like this guy, for example. I mean, how am I supposed to take him down? I have to melee him. And how a Bungie can I melee him if I didn't have a glaive on Void Hunter? Like, it would be extremely awkward. And a possibility that I can get a lot of damage. I can get taken a lot of damage from its melee attack. I was missing my shots because I forgot the method of how to deal with this Sabathon ghost with the spear. And yeah, it is really awkward. I'm trying my best to see if it can cooperate. Like, can I throw a spear without jumping? No, I can't. So does that mean I have to jump? But yeah, the staff with a hunter, it's not looking good. You know, I was debating, like, what if I just switch to a different jump? Maybe I'll get that sweet high jump like the Titan Warlock. You know, I was really debating to switch to a different jump, but the thing is, I kind of need the double jump for certain objectives for this GM. But that was just one thing I was thinking about when I was doing this run. Should I switch it? But then I said, no, I can't. It's not worth it. Just have to deal with it. Alright, so I'm gonna fast forward this. So overall, you must pick up the spear and then just jump and shoot. Jump and shoot. I mean, I did try to do the method with the no jump spear. It only works when the boss's health is half. Other than that, the boss just behaves very awkward. And be very careful with the acolytes as well. You can see that the acolytes can hurt you and throw fire. Remember, fire, worst enemy for the Void Hunter. So that's one thing you have to be very careful. And I'm gonna do a mini time skip. Okay, so after we took time to take down the Sabathon ghost, now we get to do DPS at the boss. And you know what? I don't feel like doing any time skip for this. I want you guys to suffer with me. And the reason why is this boss was behaving very awkward in this run. And this boss never really behaves like this so much, but for some reason it just wasn't floating from the middle from the boss room, and instead it was hovering all the way from the back. And not only that, it was throwing arc pulse grenades. I know someone's gonna say, okay, yeah, right, Blitz. Why would it throw arc pulse grenades? That's ridiculous. I'm not joking, I'm serious. It was throwing it was weird. And I was just trying to be careful. Because, I mean, look at this. Look at that arc pulse grenade. I didn't do that. It was the boss. It was the boss, the wizard. He or she is throwing arc grenades at me. And it was just really bizarre. I never really had trouble during the third phase. Usually the third phase is the easiest. But for some reason for this run, I was just having some trouble. I'm not sure. I mean, the boss was just behaving so weird. Honestly, maybe next time I'll try to make the boss move from the spot where I'm standing. And I could just go do the touch grass method. Where I just go on top of the grass, no joke, seriously. And then I just do DPS. I don't have to go and play hide and seek with the boss. Because this spot there in the third phase, for some reason, it just wasn't cooperating. It just wasn't, I would say, it didn't like me, alright? It just was behaving very awkward. So we're gonna just do precision shots, dealing with the boss with the linear fusion rifle. And yes, I am starting to get sleepy. I mean, this battlegrounds is so bad that it's making me sleepy. I'm usually never sleepy for GMs, especially doing my commentary, but I mean, it's just really funny that I'm starting to get sleepy. So another thing I would say is if I'm falling asleep, that means that the game design is not good. That's what it means. It happened to me when I used to play other games where I just start to fall asleep. And that's just not a good sign. For me, in my personal opinion, if I'm falling asleep, that means something's wrong with the game design. And for this one, like I said, it's just not a good design for GMs. And I just think it would have been better if they removed battlegrounds. Remove battlegrounds, replace it with sunset strikes. I mean, look, they have sunless cell. Alright, so now we're going to do DPS. We're going to crush the ghosts. Please, let me crush the ghosts. For some reason I glitch. Finally, we took down the boss and I'm getting sleepy. Now, would I ever go back and revisit this boss fight? No, absolutely not. Maybe if there is a build that's interesting, maybe, but I don't think so. I would rather go on my Titan. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.